If you want to find out why Destrudo the Lost Dragon Prison might be one of the most powerful engines in the game right now, you will not want to miss this video. So Destrudo the Lost Dragon Prison is a level 7 Dark Dragon effect monster with 1000 attack, 3000 defense, and the following effect. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can pay half your life points, then target one level 6 or lower monster you control. Special summon this card, and if you do, this card's level is reduced by the level of the targeted monster. Also place this card on the bottom of the deck if it leaves the field. You can only use this effect of Destrudo the Lost Dragon Prison once per turn. So to start, Destrudo is a tuner for synchro access, and what this entails is a variety of things. For example, because its level manipulation makes it automatically a level that equates to the monster you target plus itself being level 7, that means you have immediate level 7 synchro access. However, if you are able to manipulate your levels and, for example, make your Destrudo a level 4 and then have another level 4 body on the field, that means you can make your monster a level 8 synchro monster instead of a level 7. However, we will talk more about level 7 synchros in a little bit. Next, I wanted to discuss the fact that it pays half your life points. While yes, it does pay half your life points, that doesn't necessarily equate to a bad thing. Remember, if we're going to say that we're paying half our life points to gain a massive amount of advantage because of a card I'm going to discuss in a little bit, then that means that it just doesn't even matter, and life points don't necessarily always matter in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, obviously, yes, it can matter. For example, paying 4,000 life points and not being in an optimal enough position to win the game, and you lose the next turn can be because you paid half your life points. Also, if you're going to time, that means that you can lose because the time is called. But overall, the fact is paying half of your life points doesn't necessarily matter in the grand scheme of things. Next, the effect is from hand or graveyard. Now what this entails is the fact is you can use it from hand or grave, and while obviously that seems very straightforward, this means that not only is this not a brick card in your hand, you don't need it to specifically be in the graveyard, but as well, because it can be in the hand, you just special summon it, or if it's in your hand, you can discard it, get a draw for something, or however you're discarding it, and then you can use it later on in order to keep pushing and extending. Now you can also use it from grave, which is a big deal because any card that sends it to the grave inherently means you're getting more value out of that card because, well, you're sending Destrudo to the grave, and Destrudo can get you quite a lot of value. Because the effects are from hand and grave, that means that it makes this card much more generic, and you can play it primarily for a combo extender in your graveyard, or you can use it as a combo extender in your hand to keep pushing forward. Because it is a dark dragon monster, this means you have immediate access with a card like Dragon Shrine. You can use Allure of Darkness to banish the Destrudo if need be. But my point is, because of this typing, it's one of the best typings in the game by far to have. And so being a dark dragon really entails a lot of synergy with a lot of other cards. I mean, any dragon related card in the game can use Destrudo, and any dark card in the game can use Destrudo. But I think one big thing to note is that because it's a dark dragon, more specifically a dragon, that means you can use it with the guard dragons. So if you don't know what the guard dragons are or what they do, I do have a video talking about the guard dragon, so if you want to check that out, click on the top right corner of this video and you will find out why guard dragons are so good. But basically, to get into access for something like LP, for example, you need a level 4 or lower dragon. And what that means is that Destrudo, because it does have its level manipulation, if you summon a level 4 or a level 3 monster and you're targeting that monster with Destrudo, that means that Destrudo will end up being a level 3 or 4 monster, and that your Destrudo can be used for guard dragon plays. And guard dragons entail quite a lot of advantage inherently because you're special summoning any dragon monster from your deck, and then you're going to special summon any dragon monster from your extra deck and any dragon monster from your graveyard. graveyard, so really it just gets you a lot of advantage from that point onward. But lastly, I think the most important thing about this card is the level 7 synchro toolbox. And so while yes, you can use this for something like a hard link summon of a Link 2, that isn't necessarily the best use with this card, and I'll explain why in a second. But the reason why you want to go into the level 7 synchro toolbox is specifically because of 2 synchro monsters that help you either extend or it helps you end combos. So for example, we have Dawn Draxer and we have Yazi. So what does Dawn Draxer do? Well, basically it's a spell and trap negation level 7 synchro that is very generic. The fact is you can easily synchro summon for Dawn Draxer with a card like Destrudo. And if you're doing that, that means you're just automatically putting a negate on board. Then we also have Yazi, which Yazi is a whole can of worms in of itself. The fact is Yazi is able to pop a card the opponent controls and is a level 7 synchro. So the reason why that's so good is because obviously Destrudo is giving you immediate access to the level 7 synchro engine, and so that means you get access to Yazi. But why is Yazi good? Well, to start, it will pop any card your opponent controls by popping itself as well. Now you might say, oh well, I mean, okay, cool, but or I could summon Black Rose Dragon and just nuke the whole board. Well, there is that, but that's not the main reason why you're playing Yazi. The main reason you're playing Yazi is to pop an opponent's card and use its other effect in order to special summon a Mare from your deck. Now, if you don't know what Mare does, it basically says up to thrice per turn you can special summon a Mare token. And well, you can do this up to thrice per turn. The reason why this is so irrelevant is because you will have the Mare as one body, and you will get 3 more tokens as additional bodies. So you can argue that Mare is essentially a scapegoat on your turn. If you don't know what scapegoat does, well, scapegoat is limited on the TCG Forbidden and limited ban list because of the fact that it's just so powerful, being able to put 4 tokens on the field so easily. So if you're telling me there's a card that enables me to put 4 tokens on the field that easily, and maybe even is better because it's on your turn and you're able to pop a card for free, oh, count me in. However, Destrudo does have its purposes with that. Well, for example, Yazi is only good when your opponent has a card to be popped, and it's really only optimal when you have, well, something to pop and then more cards to pop, because the main idea is because you're going into scapegoat, basically, because Mare, as I've already described, is essentially a scapegoat, that means that you want to go into nightmares, and nightmares will pop more cards. So basically, if you're going into a Mare, then you need more cards to pop in order to gain more value and just keep digging and fixing your hand. Speaking of cards you can pop, there are cards like the Nightmares. So for example, because Mare is just so easily accessible, and because the idea is you already need a card to pop in order to use Yazi effect, that means that you're probably going to be clearing your opponent's board with Mare by itself. So you're popping 1 card, and then from there Yazi will special summon a Mare, and then Mare will go ahead and special summon 3 tokens. You link for a Link Rebo, link with the Mare and a token for a Nightmare Phoenix, and just keep going on from there. However, it's not just limited to the Nightmares. If you're doing that, Nightmares help you dig for more cards. However, you can also summon something like Saryuja in order to help you dig for more cards and, well, put another body on field. There are the Borals that you can go into, which, I mean, obviously the Borals are just superb cards. So overall, there is that. Destrudo also gives you immediate access to the Orcust engine, and I think that's something important to note, especially for the future when Orcust become more relevant after Dark Neostorm. If you want to see why that might be the case, click on the top right corner of this video and you'll be able to see a video talking about the Orcust support post Dark Neostorm. But regardless, Destrudo will definitely be much better because of the Orcust engine, because you just link for Mermaid, and then Mermaid effect, discarding a card will get you a Orchestrated Nightmare from deck, and then you just go further from there. And because Mare is also a tuner, ironically enough, this also gives you access to more synchro monsters. So if you don't feel like you need the Mare to keep going, you can also use your Mare along with another level 4 body, and after you've used Mare's effect 3 times in order to synchro summon for a Borreload Savage Dragon. And well, I mean, Borreload Savage Dragon is a free negate, so it's not bad at all. So with all of that in mind, Destrudo gives you so much value just by the fact that you can inherently go into Yazi, and Yazi gives you so much value because it will get you access to Mare immediately. So what exactly is the problem with Destrudo? Well, the core problem isn't Destrudo itself, but it's more the ease of access it gives you to so many different powerful cards / engines, including the Guard Dragons, FA Dawn Dragster, and Yazi into Mare. If you guys enjoy my content and want to see more videos like this one, make sure you guys subscribe and turn on notifications to stay up to date with my latest video. Thank you to all my patrons for supporting me, and with that, I'll see you guys soon.